right when I walk in this me. Cool. So guys, I'm over here on the Hudson River, a very well-known location and haunted location on the site of the Battle of Stony Point. And this is like a restricted area right over here, kind of. And this is where railroad tracks are. And this is where, hey Indigo, this is right pretty much on the shore, right where the tide comes in of the Hudson River here. This is where the Battle of Stony Point took place. And there's marshland right in front where you can see, right? So this is all marshland. So this is all a restricted area. Up towards that way, which I'll take you in a minute, is where the lookout is, where the Battle of Stony Point took place, and where there's archaeoastronomy megaliths that were dismantled and used as parking lot material, but there's still some spots there, and they all have ancient measurement markings on them. And I've done a video once before here, but I found some. You can't even walk down there unless you have some sort of rubber high boots or something, because it's marsh. As you can see, it's marshland right there. This is right where the tide comes in, right over here of the Hudson River. And I found what seemed to be type structures, and you can't see them really good through the camera, but I'm going to zoom in on some of them. I just can't believe this, because it looks like it's covered up with shrubbery, and they're at a place. Here's one of them, right? It's like a conical type mound that doesn't just look like a regular bush or weeds. That looks almost like a rock type structure that's covered with shrubbery, right? And it looks like a big cone, a big pyramid type thing, right? And if you see it from where I am, it looks like, outside of the camera, it looks like it's a rock that's covered with shrubbery. And then, not too far from it, and I'm sure there's probably oh wait, there is a third over there somewhere, I see. Watch, the trains coming in. Here we go. Oh, we're gonna get some good graffiti. Oh, these are some new cars. You gotta get the older ones on there. You got some tags there. I like looking at the graffiti. A lot of times I come here to see that. For some reason, I don't mind when people graffiti train cars. That, and like if someone allows somebody to do their store outside of it. But a lot of it is just obnoxious, yeah. But like in the 1980s, that was like my thing. I was really interested in a lot of the graffiti that was going on in the Bronx in New York City, late 1980s, early 1990s too. Oh my God. I just thing behind me. I turned around to talk to somebody real quick because I thought somebody was coming up to ask me why I was over here, and there was nobody behind me. That That was pretty friggin' creepy. And I know this is a haunted area, it's a battle there, but that was intense. And I have a friend that died near here on the tracks. You know, to add to the equation. That killed himself. Shout out to Chris Fullick. Wherever you are, brother. Actually, there's a few of them that I know that died on these tracks that go up. But yeah, so there's one of these things. It's like a pyramid type mound. And then the other one's right here. Sometimes a bush is just a bush, but not over here. These are like rock structures, you know, and those are like, they're like little teepees. Yeah, I do think that in the chat room. Let me see what that question was. Yeah, and for those that are watching, I have a lot. We got like, I had made about 10 of those new earpieces, and I think they're all. So there might be 1 or 2 left, and so they're all going out today. And also, I did like 3 readings in the last 2 days, email readings, and I think there's another one that I got to do on in and out. But yeah, I think that, well, pretty much know that we all agree, whoever's here right now, we agree to be here, and we're in a way quarantined on this, and we all made soul contracts, if you want to call them. I'm here to help bring us to a higher dimensional existence once again. And some of us, all of us, have specific agreed upon life missions. And you have the free will and many lifetimes to figure it out. Multiverse is that there's a transfer place. Our planet is going through a to transform and ascend to what our free will decides, right? To what we choose. And some people ascend through darkness, and some people ascend through light. And there's a collision taking place, and we are at the cusp of that collision. And you guys see, right? I don't know if you guys can see the glistening of the quartz in them. These stones really sparkle. And these are all standing stones. And they all are now being used as a guardrail. Look at them. They're very old standing stones, and they all have ancient measurements on them. And they're not marks from the wire. There's one wire here, right? But these wires are not touching the rock, and there's a bolt that's holding them. And they're not making these grooves. So look at, there's these etching grooves all over them. This wasn't from the codes. Light codes hitting me in the stone right now. Look at this. Right into my hand, I'm holding the bowl of light. Look at that. So you guys can see these are old And they're on all of these stones. You guys see them, how deep they are too. Look at how deep those are. Those aren't from the wires. No way. And these stones were dismantled and used as construction material, like they've done with a lot of different megalithic sites. And it's my theory that this ancient site up top where the cliff is, where we're going to go, because this is a big hill and mountain that we're walking up. You see all these ancient markings? Look at this. Look at all these. Those are not from different wires that have been across there, first of all. Like, look at that. Look at those, how deep these are. My whole finger can fit deep in that. Megalithic Wi-Fi, yeah. You know, just like in France, they have Karnak, right? Karnak has the most megalithic stones in a line, all going, these standing stones. And I think they're granite too. Just like these have high quartz in them. But there's so many of these standing stones, and I'm gonna take you on the walk up there, and you can see they all have the etchings. Look at this one goes. Look at how far the etchings go down. It proves that it wasn't from anything else but some sort of measurement. Look at these, go all the way down this standing stone, all the way down there. This is a big standing stone, and they were used when they made this place into a park as construction. You know, this is a big museum now, this place, basically. You know, it's a historic spot where we took this place back that was in control. We took it back at this spot. It's known as the Battle of Stony Point. Over here, look at all these etchings. Yeah, these are ancient measurements. Look at that. They start at the top of the rock, and they're at intervals. Same intervals going all the way down. See? All the way down. These are ancient measurements, and throughout the world, other standing stones other people have found these measurements. So if people are please watching now, some of my listeners or some of my subscribers, if you guys can screenshot some of these for me, that would be really great as well. I really would appreciate that. And send them to me. The Moon Tribe 712 website. I would really appreciate that, because my buddy Glenn Kreisberg, who's an author and a researcher in archaeoastronomy, he's been on my show a few times. He's written some amazing books. He wants more of these pictures from me too, because he's really interested in this. So look at all, this is a perfect example. Look at this one. All the way up and down those etchings are. This is really perfect. And look at oh my God, look at these standing stones. They all have them. Look at how deep these ones are. These are huge. Look at my finger. Disappears in there. 2 fingers can fit in there almost. Look at this. Those go all the way down too. Those are like little mini ruts. I mean, look at how deep my finger goes in that. They have to be some sort of ancient measurement as a guardrail, because we're gonna see how amazing this place is. It's right on the cliff overlooking the Hudson River, and the star just closed. Indian Point. You can see Indian Point right from the top, from the cliff here across the Hudson. So it's right here on an energetic location. They don't just decide to put a nuclear power plant just all anywhere. They put it near water that's on a harmonic energy grid. You could see, and we're on the cliff of a mountain. That's the Hudson River there, and the side of the mountains, we're in the mountains basically. And this, like I said, is a place called the Battle of Stony Point. At the top, look at all these amazing stones as well. I mean, and they got crystals in them, you could see. I think they're like quartzite slabs. is Yosemite in California. They have granite mountains and waterfalls that hit the granite below and bring like rainbow falls when the falls. the granite below. What's up, Pavel? Most likely you guys have never seen this spot here. See, that's the Hudson right there. The boats, the harbor. But look at these giant rocks and everything. Boulders. Some of them look like heads. You know, look at this place. Look at how massive this is here. These are a lot of standing stones. Look where we are right here. Look at this. What's up, Melinda, my friend? All of these places have underground taverns and all sorts of things. Look at the way that rock even points out. I want to let me zoom in. You see the it's almost look like it's cut like that. I mean, these things is massive. Another train is coming by down there. It's almost that, well, that right there is definitely pointing right to the river. You know, some of these rocks do look like giant sea creatures and big sea creatures, and for sure this is once part of the water. If these are all biological at one time, most likely they are some sort of aquatic creature. I mean, look at this. Is like the sideways. That's like a big sideways huge rock. Look at that. That is intense. And you could see, oh my God, see that split right in the middle there? I bet you the sun comes right between there. It's like a solstice alignment thing. That is intense. You see how that is? I would love a picture of that too. Because the sun, you know, you see how it comes from over the mountains, over the river there? I bet you, and it's right on top of this cliff here. We're on top of the cliff at the peak. That looks like it was cut like that for it to be like sort of an equinox or solstice solar alignment. And I'm not just making that up. You know, that's like cut. That is intense right there. And that's where the marker, where there's like, it's almost like an arrow pointing. You see right here? That's like that's made on purpose. That's an arrow pointing right there. And then when you turn around, right there is where the slit is behind that rock. Yeah, that is some sort of solar alignment there. I would guarantee it. That was made like that. That is freaking intense. That is freaking intense. That is definitely, oh my God. And then, because that thing is like an arrow. This is like, that one rock is definitely, it's a sign that something is right there. Like, for sure. Wow. I need to get pictures of this before I leave for sure. And these things are just massive. Look at, they're like the side of just massive heads or massive something. And the first beings that were on this planet were lion, feline type humanoids. Some of the Lemurians were like this. And you know, I've been giving out so much information for free, just giving it out all the time. I really should like make a documentary about some of the stuff that I'm talking about, and include it, like, because there's just so much that I can really, you know, talk to you guys about. But the average person, they'll hear these videos on YouTube and they'll criticize it. But you know, guys, there is so much life out there, and we've been sort of quarantined here on this planet, and we've been kept in the dark for so long. But it's all coming to a head, and you guys, there's going to be some big changes. I've been talking about it for a while, and we have a special message that we're going to be bringing this Saturday. Me and my very special Lori Brewer, she's going to be coming on my show this Saturday, tomorrow, and we have a very special message from the family of the light. And you guys should get ready, because we all feel it. Whether the military governments of the world let us know, I'm not sure, but there's going to be something that unveils in December. There's specific dates that me and Lori have both. These are days where there's even eclipses and solstice type change, right? Alignments that are happening that have not happened in 500 years even. And around the time of Giordano Bruno, right? So this is a special broadcast. Lori is 80 years old. She's a very special person to me. I've interviewed her before on my shows. She was my first guest ever. My first show I ever did in 2000. When the first time I actually, you know, because that's what she is. I asked her to be my first guest on my very first live show on the Power X Radio Network. And then on my year anniversary, she came on again on 2017, you know, because, you know, she was like 78 years old at the time that I did interview her, and she was handling a lot for her age. I mean, she was running a store. She had a husband, other people outside of her family, people from, you know, her special obligations, right? And doing readings on people, doing everything. And she never asked help from anyone. You know, strong, take care of her son is having health difficulties, and a lot of different things that's going on, man. So she's so psychic. I mean, she's helped find missing children. She's helped work with the police and different things as well. So it kind of runs in our work. Me and her are cut from the same cloth. We speak the same language, you know. And she's just a powerful lady, and you know, just it doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything that she believes in or anything like that either. But she has very powerful psychic energy, and I definitely would be there for her no matter what. It's a shame that people have to get old, man, you know, and that's why I think it's very important for her to even come on the show, because you know, you never know what's going to happen in this world, and it would be a shame for the world to lose somebody like Lori Bruno, because she really tries to throw positive vibes out there all the time and to help as many people as she can. You guys, 1960, when we went, the times that we were going to the moon missions, were going high school. She was an intern and a secretary, or she did something with there. She was working right alongside all of them, and she met all of those guys. And then, she's an ancestor of Giordano Bruno, and there's just so much embedded in her DNA, like mine and all of you out there. It's just up to you to unlock it and to fulfill the reason why you came to this planet. Because believe me, you're not here by accident. No way. And there is a new Earth that's rising. And I know this might sound some crazy shit to some people that are out there right now listening, or some people might hear this video. But we are going to be anchored in the Milky Way a whole different way. There's something coming, a technology that's going to readjust our planet, and a new Earth is going to arise, a new ascension. Our planet is going through an ascension type event, and we are going to be anchored a whole different way into the Milky Way, and a whole different Earth is going to be arising. Some people are going to be lost, and some people are going to be transformed onto the new Earth. There's going to be a new Earth that arises with all different people from all different galaxies on it. And this also looks like an old volcanic caldera here. Look, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is like a bowl. This area here. And the whole length of it all, but it's pretty intense. It's a lighthouse over there, because we're right on the cliff looking over. But this is where I think the circles were taken from. Like, I was just able to smell it. This is where I think circles were taken from. Those stones that are making now a guardrail over there. And I've done the video here once before. You guys can see we're in a circle. One of them even looks like a possible sacrifice stone slab, right? And it's even pitched down. And we're in New York. As soon as I go, copper dowsing rods, and I should, when you go through near the stones, you guys can see the ancient measurement markings on this stone. Look at how deep the fingers go in here. You could just hang out and they're like, just look, and they're at intervals. It's a measurement marking, and it goes all the way up the stone, all the way up to the top. And they all have them, even the ones in the pot, even alongside here. They all have some sort of ancient measurement, and I would really like pictures of these too, if anybody can help me out. Thank you, the guys the other day that sent me them. I really appreciated that. And look at the guys, look at these standing stones. These are similar to the ones that you find in Karnak or in Stonehenge or in other standing circles. These are big, these are pretty big, a little bit smaller than the ones, of course, in Stonehenge or Callanish in Scotland, which I recently did a remote viewing at. That's going to blow your guys' mind. You can see that these are not from wires or anything like that, and they go down this side of the stone and here. They're both, and look at how old these stones are and weathered. And the ones in Callanish in Scotland, they are actually the oldest stones on the planet. Literally, you can look that up. The ones in Scotland, the Callanish stone circle in my opinion, is way better in Scotland than the one in Stonehenge. It is amazing. The oldest stones that we have on our planet, and you can literally, I can see giants molded into the stone. You could see them frozen in fear. All right, I saw their faces frozen in terror. And I do think there is an ancient technology for my remote viewing of ancient Atlantis and different remote viewings that I've done. I have witnessed a technology that can liquidize dead biology, like a dead tree, a dead living being. You know, something that was a living person or an animal, or something that was a living plant, or a rock, or a crystal, or anything that was biology and once alive, right? A crystal, you don't really know how it works, right? But it's alive. It is really alive, and it's sentient. It has memory, right? But so all of these things, whether it's a tree or a plant or whatever, it could, when it dies, I think there's ancient technology, or even when it's alive, they've done this, which would be extremely painful, right? First, if you say you took a dead plant or a dead tree, and there was a technology to liquidize it, to turn it into liquid, where it's a complete liquid, gooey, like liquid type substance, maybe even liquid like water is liquid, that kind of fluid, and then they re-harden it to a certain shape or certain form that they want, and it's molded then. And while it's in liquid form, they can even extract certain elements and add certain elements to it, and then re-harden it to what they want. And this is an ancient technology that they did with crystals even, and this is how they made crystal skulls. I saw this through a remote viewing. Man, I wasn't going to reveal it until my book, but I do believe that this is the way crystal skulls were even originally formed. People don't know how they were made. Well, I think that they took a literal dead biological thing, and then liquidizes it, and then re-harden it. Even a crystal, they would say they have a quartz slab, a huge quartz slab of crystal, or a huge cluster of quartz crystal. They would liquidize that crystal and then re-harden it into a crystal skull to form it like a galactic computer, right? So this is what I got from my remote viewings of that. And you guys can see we are on a cliff. There's a lighthouse right here. We are on a cliff overlooking the Hudson River, and this is high up in the air in a mountain. We are in the mountains. On the other side of the mountains, you can see right down that area across. Let me hide the chat so I can zoom in for a second. All right, those domes over there. I don't know if you guys can see the domes. Those domes over there, that's the nuclear power plant, Indian Point, that recently closed, that's been open for a long time. So we are on the harmonic energy grid that goes right through here, the Hudson River Valley. We are in the lower Hudson River Valley, right on the Battle of Stony Point, Haverstraw Bay, and you can see boat. It is a beautiful spot, but the reason why they have a nuclear power plant across the river there is because we are on a harmonic location. Even the cat stone, oh, that was a woodpecker that just flew. Very mystical. Even the cat stone that I go to, the healing chambers of Sekhmet, that big balanced rock that's in North Salem, New York, it's across the river right there. You know, it's right here on this harmonic energy grid that we're in. And even Project Woodpecker, you know, to go in with the woodpecker, that was unleashed by the Russians on July 4th, 1976. The spot that we're on here this battle took place like in the 1700s, right around those times. And you guys can see there's even standing stones even going down the cliff. This whole place was dismantled. When the French and the English and the United States were all trying to battle over this area here, this place was dismantled. It was another Stonehenge here. All these standing stones, right here on an archaeoastronomy spot. There's no doubt in my mind that there's solar alignments here, solstice alignments, equinox alignments at this spot. And look at the big barge coming in. And you guys can see all the megalithic standing stones that are here all have ancient measurement markings on them. Yeah, people have been tricked into other realities. You know, there's people here that have been tricked into this reality. In fact, you guys can say that, you know, we are very ancient souls that made soul contracts in a sort of weird trickery for us to come back here. But it's our duty now to fulfill that mission. You know, we all go through a lot of struggles, and all of these struggles that we're going to go through here, we have to use that to activate our true knowledge. When you overcome these struggles, those are doorways for you to unlock who you really are. When you let the struggles eat you, that's how you get polarized through a dark ascension. Descension, if you want to say. So you could travel towards the light, or you could stay in the darkness. It's up to you. It's when you emerge from that darkness victorious that you truly understand the light. Right? So you have to take that. See all this archery that's all covered up, all these stones? That's what I'm talking about, the pyramid that we saw at the beginning of the video. That's all the way down there that we can see on my way out again, for those that joined late. But it was covered with shrubbery, just like this is. They were like these cone structures that's in the marsh, in that restricted area down at the beginning of the video I showed, where the train comes in. There's an area that's like restricted, that behind the fence is like a marsh area, and there's these huge conical type little teepees that are covered with this type of brush year round, and you can't see. It looks like that it's literally like cone rocks, like pyramid rocks, or some sort of pyramid structure. And you know, this is not a strange thing to be over here, even Long Island. This is right here on the Hudson River, so this would be a place for a pyramid to be, right? And even in Long Island, where Montauk is, the Montauk Bay, they had the Montauk, I think they were called the Montauk Indians, the Native Americans from that area of Long Island. This is why Montauk is named Montauk. They were the Montauk Indians, right? They had pyramids that were in that area where even Camp Hero is now, and all those places. They had pyramids that that were there to the late 1800s, early 1900s. I think it was even after World War I, maybe, or something like that. There was a huge hurricane that killed the rest of the remnants of some of the pyramids. They were these Native American type pyramids, almost like teepee clay type pyramid thing structures that even went underground in that area. And some people have written about it before. You could find some books. I think even Peter Moon has written about it before. I interviewed him a few times years ago. Yeah, I don't agree with everything that he says, but some of his information is very interesting. he was a big Scientology guy for a while, and now he's no longer a Scientologist. The first book about the Montauk Project, Experiments in Time, with Preston Nichols. I've known Peter for about 10 years. I interviewed him about 3 or 4 times already in my life, but like I said, I have some very personally connected to that whole story and some of the people involved, and it's not something I like to talk about. And these are people that I knew, Duncan Cameron, and these people that were involved, these are people that I personally knew that were living in New York for a while, and I knew Duncan until he died, and I don't really like to talk about those guys because it's pretty creepy. But yeah, Duncan feels that he was involved with the Philadelphia experiment and that he traveled through time as well. And even Al Bielek, all these guys are now dead. Preston Nichols, the only one that is alive that claims to be a part of it is Stuart Swerdlow. And he's a whole nother story in itself. That's beautiful right there. To Larry, we live this time through this solar charger. Yeah, there's so many interesting tree formations. I mean, we could go through, and I have a lot of mail to get to today. So I got a lot of things to ship out, and I got to send a few emails. So I got to go. But guys, thank you for joining me. Please support me. Yeah, me too, Barbara Collins. I do too. I know who him and his wife know me, but I never wanted to have him on my show or anything like that. I could have. And my wife even met Preston personally. I've talked to him before on the phone, but they were trying to get me to go to Preston Nichols' house and sit on the chair for a long time. I would never go, and Duncan Cameron was trying to get me up to Preston Nichols for a long time. For those that don't believe me, I never got rid of them. I have proof. I have my answering machine tapes, and even on my phones, different phones that I have, even on this phone I have some of them saved. Before Duncan died, for the couple of years up until he died, on a normal basis, he was calling me, being like, I'll be in your area, I'm gonna come pick you up, we'll go for coffee, I'll take you up to Preston's. I'm like, no dude, it's cool. And I stopped answering the phone, and he would just leave me messages. And some of these messages had some sort of technology in them. After 10 seconds, I friends the messages, and they were like, yeah, my head. So I would never. I have the sort of metaphysical, spiritual, whatever sort of alternative radio, psychotronics, all of this community that's involved, and the people in New York. It's sort of like a small community. So me being in New York, see how a lot of these stones were dismantled and just thrown aside? Look, these are all these standing stones. Look at them in a pile. You guys see, look at it. Look at these. You guys see all this? Look at huge standing stones just thrown aside. This whole place was dismantled. Look at this. They all have the etchings on them. Man, I want pictures of this. I got to take pictures of this after we hang up right now. Look at all these standing stones just thrown aside. This whole place was dismantled, and they made it a park. And like I said, there's pyramids in the marsh. There's only a small little remnants of some of the stone circle here. This was another Stonehenge, another Kalanish. You guys, and look, that's the only remnants of the stone circle, really, is that one little strip right here. This is really what they have left. This one little strip. All this, man, they made a road. You know, all this going on, the road, the benches, everything that they put in, the little stands that this talk about the Battle of Stony Point, all of this. People died at this spot. There was a battle here, but this is the only thing left. We even see right there in that cliff where that little pointy thing is, that's like an arrow marking the spot. Right there is some sort of solar alignment that comes right through, right here. And so this is not just a theory. This is reality. This shit was dismantled. You know, there's even the pile of stones to prove it. It's pretty intense. Yeah, but like I was community, all of this community that is in the New York tri-state area, sort of like a small knit community. So it's something that I've been in for over 10 years or more as well. So I got to, of course, speaking at certain things, being stuff, you get to meet other people in the field. So I ended up meeting like people like Stephen Popiotek, Duncan Cameron, you know, and then when they met me, they realized I was really psychic or clairvoyant or whatever you want to label it. I hate using all these labels, but I don't know why we just can't be. Why we have to be this or be that, or why something has to be an alien or an interdimensional. We have to label things, and unfortunately, we have to do it to communicate. That's the way our language works. But we should be able to just show each other telepathically exactly what we mean. We shouldn't need instant messaging. You know, we should be able to just, you know, thinking about you, and then boom, you know. This is how it works. And the only reason, the way we can communicate that way is if we are in a calmed shamanic state. And we just can't live like that the way they're bombarding us, the way they're destroying us. We just can't live that way, my friends. You know, they've made it, they designed it for us specifically to be like this. So we have to rely on the machine to communicate with each other, not do it through our own telepathic abilities and our own built-in biosystem. We are being disconnected from who we really are. Feel it coming, whether it's this December or maybe even this. I originally said December 2021, and I've been writing it down. People close to me, they'll tell you that I've been saying that December 21 and 2029 are, and then 2045, I felt like are huge significant dates. And you can never pinpoint something with date because of the free will on our planet, but our free will has become more restricted and more restricted. And as it becomes more restricted, your free will, when you have unlimited choices in life, you have unlimited infinity dimensions. But as our restrictions and our choices and our free will get restricted, the world that we live in, right? Our multidimensional world gets restricted. The more restrictions that happen in our life, the less free will we have, the less dimensions, the more dimensions converge. Like every free will that gets restricted, the more you get restricted, one more dimension gets deleted. One more dimension gets, and these dimensions are collapsing until there's a singularity, until you're sucked back into the black hole. And this is what's happening. That we're losing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until we're completely inside the machine. They're just taking a little bit, one more thing you need to rely on the machine on. One more thing you need to rely on the machine for. One more thing you need to rely on the machine for, until you can't even frigging scanning your eyeball. You can't even do nothing. You know, you can't even get your toothbrush without friggin' doing this. You can't even do anything without scanning into the machine until you're completely inside the machine and there is no more free will. And that's what that's what's coming. And God help us all. But like I said, some of us will emerge on a new earth. There is a family of light. Look at this right here. Oh my God, see, this looks like the profile of a big giant head. It really does. And the ear that went back, like, it's like a pointy ear type. And I can't believe that sign. Like, that literally is a sign. You know, right here. That's where the solstice solar alignment thing is, behind that rock. But look at this thing here. It is like a big giant head that leaned back. Look at the pointy ear. I mean, that is amazing right there. I can't believe my phone has actually been charging this whole time. What's up, Thoughts and Perceptions? Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I think I described it pretty well just now. Unfortunately, some people, they don't realize that free will is the ultimate harmonic frequency of the universe. The very frequency that your body, brain, your biosystem pumps out when you have to make a choice, when you choose, that sort of vibrational energy, every sort of thought process, you know, when choices that you make, sexual choices, choices that have to do with your spirituality, choices that have to do with your health, choices that have to do with stuff, all that free will, they all have different vibrational energies, frequencies. Those are the frequencies that are being manipulated by certain races, creatures, codes, whatever you want to call them, within the matrix that exist within our multiverse. And that is the ultimate violation there is. That's why there is a war going on, because the free will is being manipulated. This is why God, you know, God even, like, look at it in the Bible. It's even talked about, even his angels had free will. His higher dimensional creatures had their own free will. They had a choice. And they chose to come into this realm and change stuff. And then we used our free will, right? To do what we wanted to do with that information that we were given. But when things get too out of hand, that's when comet impacts are brought. And things are changed. And the earth is changed. And a new earth is brought. It's happened before. Comets are the ultimate technology of the multiverse. People don't realize this. Meteor showers, asteroids, comets. It's the ultimate technology. Thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to support me. And Spiral out.